Explain to us what Battletech is.
Okay, so this is just my limited understanding, and keep in mind that you guys both know more about Harmony Gold than I do. But if I remember correctly, from what I understand, it was Tatsunoko who either sold the rights to FASA. FASA is the name of the company that created Battletech. They either sold it to them, or they thought they sold it to them, or vice versa from FASA. Like it's unclear who knew what, or who's publicly saying who had what at the time. I don't think that there's anything, at least as far as I know. But this is, like I said, I don't know for sure if this is the correct reading on it. Anyway, so somehow through the Japanese company Tatsunoko, the FASA guys got the designs from SDF Macross and used those designs in Battletech. And once a rights issue got created because of Harmony Gold's litigious nature to defend what they consider all their stuff, the designs, those particular SDF Macross designs, as well as some designs from Fang of the Sun Dugram, and one or two other ones. I think they were also using the Ostall from Crusher Joe. And this is why it had to be this is why I tend to believe the story that it had to be FASA who got the designs from Tatsunoko, because HG does not have the rights to Dugram. They do not have the rights to Crusher Joe. They don't have any of those rights. So how could they claim, how could HG claim that FASA stole the designs from them when they were using designs that they never had to begin with? So yeah, the Ostall from Crusher Joe and the Dugram, and a bunch of the designs from Dugram, not just the Dugram itself, but a whole bunch of designs were used in Robotech. Anyway, eventually there was some sort of war that happened in I don't know, the mid to late 90s or early 2000s or something like that. And apparently FASA lost, or decided that it wasn't worth legal. I think the line was that they decided it wasn't worth the legal cost. So they took those designs out of Battletech. Now, luckily for them, Battletech expanded, in the decades from when it was conceived, it expanded way beyond its original Macross, Dugram, Crusher Joe roots. And there's thousands upon thousands of Battletech designs, including a bunch of very iconic designs that they actually created themselves, which get plastered over most Battletech Mech Warrior stuff to this day. The Mad Cat, for example, the one I share quite a few times whenever I find good art of it online, that one is still used as one of their token iconic mecha to this day in their marketing. So yeah, so the Battletech just kept going, and now they've got I don't know, 50 different video games under Battletech / Mech Warrior, and how many different iterations of the tabletop game, and a bunch of other stuff like that. And those designs that were originally around, I mean, people still have merchandise from FASA, which has the old Macross, Dugram, and Crusher Joe designs in them. And FASA calls them the unseen. You can still use the mecha designs in their games, but the art for them either doesn't exist, or it's been changed, and entirely new art has been drawn up, so that they don't have a copyright issue ever again. And that's all I know. And I don't know how accurate some of it is.
That's a lot more than us.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't really know very much about it.
Battletech story.
I didn't even know Battletech is the same as Mech Warrior.
Yes.
There you go. Learn something new every day.
Although I don't see, we should go to Wikipedia on this, because I don't think FASA either it doesn't exist as a company anymore, or it sold Battletech.
I think they sold it, because when I was looking, I looked briefly into the lawsuit around the time that remember when Harmony Gold countersued Tatsunoko for damages that they were like, well, your
Yeah, a little while
damages
ago,
are
right?
causing us damages. Like they did that a
Yeah.
few years ago. The Battletech lawsuit kept coming up, and there's a different company, I think
I think that was like
Harebrained
2016,
Games
2017.
or something like that. Yeah, somewhere around there. So it might be owned by a different company now.
It says FASA Corporation is defunct. Founded in 1980 and then ended in 2001. Active operations only. I'm not sure what that means.
Me neither.
No idea.
FASA unexpectedly ceased active operations on April 30th, 2001, but still exists as a corporation holding intellectual property rights, which it licenses to other publishers.
How ironic.
Right, so they're not actively making new stuff themselves.
No,
it just
but
exists
they do
solely
hold...
so the IP has something to
That's
really
right,
has a home.
Yeah.
Okay.
Contrary to popular belief, the company did not go bankrupt. Allegedly, the owners decided to quit while the company was still financially sound in a market they perceived as going downhill. Okay. So that explains it then. All right. Now, pursuant to that, what about Battletech now? Launched by FASA Corporation in 1984, acquired by WizKids in 2001, which was in turn acquired by Topps in 2003 and published since 2007 by Catalyst Game Labs. The trademark is currently owned by Topps, and for the games, Microsoft's Xbox game studio Catalyst Game Studios licenses the franchise from Topps. So Topps is the current owner and has been for 17 years of the Battletech stuff. Yeah, and it's still going. Bunch of novels, lots of video games, role-playing games, board games, tabletop battle games, all sorts of shit. Yeah, I know they're still making stuff. Like MechWarrior Online is still like a huge thing. Yeah, they're still making like stuff for it. Like it's active right now. It has like an active, yeah. There we go.
All right, well, that makes sense why someone would ask about it during the panel then, like if that would make the quote-unquote like the unseen parts of the game that they had to eliminate the imagery for so they wouldn't violate that copyright. Maybe if they're wondering, they might come back. I don't think so.
Here we go. Here we go.
Here's
the correct story. Rather than create their own original art, FASA decided to use already existent designs that had been originally created for a variety of different Japanese anime, including Dougram, Crusher Joe, and Macross. The rights to these images were licensed from 20th Century Imports, TCI. I have no idea who that is, but that sounds like it could be a Japanese company.
TCI. Oh, I'm thinking of the Dungeons and Dragons TSR. Never mind.
TSR, yeah. In later years, FASA abandoned these images as the result of a lawsuit brought against them by Playmates Toys and Harmony Gold, of course. There we go.
Right.
Over the use of said images. In 2007, classic Battletech line developer Randall and Bills explained that FASA had sued Playmates over the use of the images owned by FASA. Although Playmates was ordered to stop using the images in question, FASA received no financial compensation. FASA realized that the use of licensed images made them vulnerable to lawsuits and worried that such a suit would bankrupt the company. Following the suit, FASA made the decision to use only images that they owned in future products. The anime source Battle Mechs continued to be referenced in universe, but their images were no longer seen in the new source books. This led them to be termed by fans as the unseen. When Fantasy Productions licensed the property, the unseen images were expanded to include all art produced out of house. Copyright, blah, blah, blah. Catalyst Games has continued the practice. Yeah, which would explain why they're like now created with different art. So yeah. What about things here? Blah, blah, blah. Here. On June 24th, 2009, Catalyst Game Labs announced that they had secured the rights to the Unseen art. As a result, art depicting the original mechs could be legally used again. However, an update on August 11th, 2009 stated that the part of the deal regarding these designs that originated in images from Macross had fallen through, returning the original images to Unseen status once again.
Wah, wah, wah.
Since then, designs
Too
that
bad.
originated in images from Dougram and Crusher Joe are no longer considered unseen. Okay, so it looks like they got those designs back again. But the
Okay.
Macross stuff, no.
But why insist on it? I mean, they moved on. They did like similar designs that are close to the Macross stuff, and they're still kind of like hoping for it to become part of the game for some reason. Well, some fans are. I think most have moved on, right?
I don't know. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, I think that there's a lot of, well, Battletech is like is kind of like a legacy media kind of game at this point, right? Like it's not. Maybe I'm speaking out of turn. Maybe the video games have like a much younger fan base. I mean, they have to at this point. But I think that the tabletop, like the pen and paper sort of stuff, I think is probably more older fans, and so understandably they want their Destroids back.
No, you can't have them.
You can't have them.
It's ours. Bad enough I have to share it.
I think it's best at this point that they're split anyway. I mean, most of that stuff, like, I don't know. I guess the legalese kind of makes it difficult, and there's probably a lot of older fans who would say I'm speaking heresy right now. But I think that the different franchises, like maybe not Robotech. Okay, not Robotech, because Harmony Gold doesn't make anything, and they haven't done anything with Robotech for fucking decades. But Macross and Battletech have each like continued on and produced content for like the last 30 years. And I don't see any reason why they can't continue doing that. They're doing it successfully. So why go back to this old stuff at this point? You should just sort of let it revert back to who it belongs to and just leave it at that. Like they don't need it for the franchise to go forward. And in fact, you could argue that, I mean, even though I love these old designs and stuff like that, and they mean a lot to me, you could argue that it's more important that their mechanical designs appeal to younger generations than it does to older ones.